Guys, we got what we've been waiting for. Didn't think it was going to be able to happen for a little while, just because I've been trying to just not spend money on stuff. Trying to, you know, be responsible, not spend money that I don't have. You know, buying parts for the Subaru. Didn't plan on buying a welder, but yeah, as you can tell, I mentioned it, I think, in the last video, what I was looking at. It's literally, I've been looking at this thing and just kind of wondering how it would be. So basically, what I got was really kind of funny, because I realized that I had some points. We had like an award system at work, and with that award system you can basically you can get gift cards and things like that. Didn't realize that I had a bunch of points basically, and I was able to get basically two gift cards, one for $100 and the other for $200, and then I actually had one like a $25 gift card. Sorry, the dog's bugging the cat. And so basically was able to get the welder for pretty much nothing. I think it was like $7. I went on to Amazon and I was able to find it on there for $3.99, and it had like just a random pop-up promo for $90 off, I think. So I think all I paid was literally $9. So pretty cool. We'll unpack it real quick. I'm gonna go over all the details and everything once we kind of start using it some more. Of course, the dogs are fighting and making a ruckus, but really pumped on this thing. This is the YESWELDER 205. 205 DS. I love the color. It's like that 60s refrigerator green or blue. Pretty cool. You can tell it's a pretty basic little unit here. It's very small, very compact. Definitely smaller than my current welder and my old TIG that I had. Not by much, but it is definitely smaller. So yeah, YESWELDER. It is a 110 or 220. Obviously, you're going to be able to get a little bit more out of it on, you know, the higher voltage, but pretty slick. Like I said, for $400, like, I honestly don't know that you can beat this. Like, this metal's real flimsy, I will say that much. I also did pack the ground cable in there, so let's get this stuff out. So yeah, really excited to use it. As you can see, I had gotten center or rear subframe for the GC, so I've got some stuff I'm working on. In the last video, we worked on the front section there where we're going to tie into the frame and the cage. So really excited to use this. This is a multi-process welder, so you can do MIG, TIG, and stick on it. I don't have the TIG torch or anything like that. I don't even think you use a pedal. I just think it's like a constant voltage or constant amperage that you basically set up, and it's like an on-off switch. It's scratch start, so a little bit basic, but it'll work for what I need it to. I'm not going to need to TIG a ton. I still might, since I'm pretty decent at it, but yeah, pretty excited. This torch looks super nice. I'm going to do a whole video on this pretty soon, but for now, let's go set it up, and you know, we'll test it out on a couple things and see if we can get it going. So let's do it. All right, so we got the welder set up. Everything is working. Took a few minutes to kind of tinker with it. Has some cool settings and stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna make a whole video going over it. But just like quick first impressions, the thing is like super lightweight and just very simple. I love it. I can't wait to try TIG on it. So I did some measuring, was trying to figure out basically where our axle height will be in comparison to the lower links for the basically rear end. Basically, I'm trying to figure out where everything is going to be so that we can start to build our framework back here. But what we're gonna do in the meantime, which is like perfect timing that the welder came in, we're basically gonna work on welding up our rear factory framework, the already existing framework that's there. So we're basically gonna take it where we split the seam. We're gonna take it and basically do 1.5 million tacks all the way down this thing. If anything, it's gonna be a test for the little welder here. It's gonna be how low can I get it so I'm not burning through this stuff. So it's been a while since I've welded anything this thin, so we'll jump into it and we'll weld this up, clean it up. And again, the idea is to get us ready for, you know, to be able to get out some heavy metal and start to build out the rough framework of the rear end. So let's do it. All right, I just threw a fresh coat of paint on our rear frame rail. As you can see, I kind of stopped right up where we get to the part of the frame where it bolts to the subframe. Basically got it all cleaned up. Everything is pretty nice. And then just to kind of give you a rough idea of kind of where we'll be going with this is I am not going to basically locate where the lower link bolts are going to go until I get a little further along with the framework up here. I'm going to keep all this intact, but I'm going to go ahead and build a framework. Until then, I'm going to have to do some things. What would be roughly described as a C-notch will basically come from here, going up and down, and finally meeting everything up at that front basically piece of steel that we roughly put in there last time. So you can kind of see, envision the idea of how it's all going to work. But yeah, I still have to do the other side. But just to kind of give you a reminder, that's kind of like roughly what we started off with. We're going to do the same thing over here, weld this up to about here, and then from there have everything ready to get our heavier steel out, build our C structure back here, and basically then be able to cut all this out when we're ready. But we're going to go ahead and build the structure first, get it going that way. Everything behind this section here isn't going to have to be ridiculously strong. We'll have the transmission mount, but otherwise the engine and everything will be tied in up there, and we'll be getting rid of that whole section of frame in order to basically put in our new parts. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it. I know this is kind of an interesting one. We had a lot of things happen. New welder came in, kind of, honestly, a lot of thinking and planning as to what the best way to execute all this is. I think that is like a big part of the fabrication process when you're doing something that has never, I don't want to say it hasn't been done, but there is no how-to guide on how to mid-engine swap a Subaru, you know, so I have a very specific goal in mind. The car is going to sit very low. The car is going to have suspension that works appropriately while also being low. A lot of people just like slam their cars and they end up basically like the lower links end up in like an upward trajectory, and it throws off the geometry of the car that it was designed with to work, you know, as best as it possibly could. So I am going to basically be doing a version of that. You'll kind of see as we go, but you know, doing some measuring, planning, things like that is going to make everything fall into place a whole lot easier once we really start to, you know, get moving, start thinking about, you know, mounting the engine, mounting the trans, where everything's going to sit. That way everything is going to build off of this foundation that we're working on right now. So a long way to go. I'm going to continue working on the other side this week. And in our next video, we're probably going to be cutting some more big pieces of steel, cutting more of this out, and yeah, cutting it apart, putting it back together stronger than it was before. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So stay tuned. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Again, the majority of you are not subscribed to the channel, so please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, all that fun stuff. Leave a comment, give me some ideas. And yeah, so that's the plan for the next video. I've been planning on some other video segments to try to fill in some time because it is cold out here in the winter time, and it is hard to get in a ton of hours. So we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. But appreciate you and hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you all soon.